Even if you bake as often as I do, you'll occasionally have a misstep or two. But I have a hard time letting go. When I messed up a batch of chocolate chip cookies, I refused to immediately trash it. Instead, I came up with a way to transform it into something delicious. Let's get baking. Today I'm going to show you how I turned a batch of overbaked, dry, and crumbly chocolate chip cookies into decadent vegan and gluten-free s'mores cookie bars. So one of my videos was about me going back in time and recreating or updating an old chocolate chip cookie recipe I had. Unfortunately, I had to do a few tries and the cookies weren't coming out, which left me with a lot of batches with nothing to do with them. So I just want to show you first the cookie we're working with and why it wasn't good enough to be on its own as a cookie. It looks okay, but it's very dry and I hardly have to squeeze it. I mean, this is kind of what you deal with when you're dealing with gluten-free baking. You have to be so careful. It looks good, but then you go into it and it's just like this. So it tasted really good though. I mean, the chocolate chunks were great. The flavor was good. It's just the texture. So I didn't want to waste it. This is good food here. I mean, yes, it didn't come out great as a cookie, but come on. Am I going to throw away all of these cookies? So far I've just crumbled about 2 cookies. This is going to be about 7 cookies, maybe 8, depending on what you have left, if you have a batch like this. And I'm going to go ahead and crumble these. And now I know you're probably thinking, well, I don't have that specific mess up that you have, Dawn. Like, what am I supposed to do if I want to make this recipe? So I would suggest, one, you could go back to my video and make the first version of the cookie that didn't come out, but that might be extra work for you. The other thing you can do is just make sure a cookie that didn't come out for you is this texture. The reason it didn't come out is because it's really dry and crumbly. That should work for this recipe. Or you can let a brand go stale. Like if you buy a box of cookies, there's a brand called Partake that I think would be really great for this recipe. Their chocolate chip cookies, probably as is would be great for this recipe. But if you have a box of cookies that you're like, oh no, I left it open, or you know, they're just not as fresh as they were, that should work too. I would say a cookie that might not work would be like a Chips Ahoy type cookie. That might just soak up too much moisture for this bar. But even like a shortbread cookie should work. Anything that's just dry and like, it's almost like breadcrumbs. So any cookie that you have that has that texture should work for this recipe. So let's take a look at our mixture here. We've got the chocolate chunks all broken up here, the cookie crumble. I mean, it is just dry. You could imagine like not a great cookie. Okay. So let's get to our next ingredients. First, we want to get a flax egg. So that's going to be 1 tablespoon of ground flax. And we're adding to that 3 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to put that right in. Just give it a little stir. And we're not going to mix this in right away because right now it's just too watery. We want it to set up a little bit to get a little more like gel-like. So let's just put that aside. The next ingredient is pretty exciting. It's a little concoction that I came up with. It's going to be a tapioca slurry. So it's 3 tablespoons of tapioca flour. And then to that, we're just going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And this just helps the binding of this dry, crumbly cookie. Gives it a little chewiness. Let's see, 2 tablespoons. Let's mix that up. See, it's already like, it's almost like glue. Make sure it's fully dissolved. Probably could use this as glue. All right, we'll put that aside as well. So next we're going to add melted butter. I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter and my preference is Earth Balance. We're gonna add that directly to the cookie crumble here. So this is 4 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm using my handy dandy rubber spatula to make sure I don't miss any. Let's just give that a stir. It's already smelling better. It's already improved. Just needed some more moisture. All right, let's check our flax egg now. I think that's set up enough. Still a little jiggly and watery, but it's combined enough for this purpose, I believe. So let's get that added in here. Get the flax egg all blended in there. And the final ingredient is our tapioca slurry. So see, it almost looks like milk at this point. If when you first make it, it's a little too thick, you can add tiny bit of water just to make sure you get it to this texture, but not too much. You definitely want it to be loose like milk, but not too runny. So let's get that in there. Okay. And I may get my hands in here because we are going to want this to be fully combined into a dough. So I'm gonna get my gloves on and get this mixed one final time. Yes, that is beautiful. You can hardly believe that this was a failed cookie. It's now just a delicious new dough. Okay, now one more ingredient, and we're gonna add it in here now that it's all combined. It's going to be 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is gonna help it rise. I'm just gonna get that right out of the container here. So 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And let's get that fully combined here. It just soaks right in. And you could add the baking powder earlier if you want, but this dough is so moist that it just blends right in here at this phase, so it's totally fine. I think that should be about enough. Take a look at that. That looks great. Okay, so now we're gonna get our tray prepared and we're going to add our dough. I've got my pan prepared. It's an 8x8 square pan. I have some oil here that I lightly oiled on the sides and especially the sides where I don't have parchment paper. I only did parchment paper coming up horizontally on one side because it's really just there to help me lift it up when it's finished baking. So really just make sure you oil up the sides, but it's okay to oil the parchment paper as well. So let's get this just dumped right in there. You can kind of crumble it. Spread it out a little bit. All right, let's move this out of my way. Okay, now let's begin to just press this down and get it as even as we can. That is looking good. It's crazy to think that this was a batch of chocolate chip cookies. Now it's just a brand new dough. That's why I just don't ever want to throw anything away. Why waste? If you can make something out of something, do it. Especially in this economy. Okay. So get it as even as you can. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna put this in the oven. It's going to take about 30 to 35 minutes at 350. And while that's baking, we're going to start making our marshmallow topping. So I've got my makeshift double boiler here going. It's really hot. And we're going to start with a half a cup of vegan and gluten-free mini marshmallows. I'll leave a link below where I get these from, but these are really good, Dandy's brand. And we're just gonna get those in there, give it a little stir. It's gonna take a while for the marshmallows to melt. And then on top of that, to help it along, we've got a tablespoon and a half of agave. So just dump that right in there as well. And you just want to keep an eye on that and stir it occasionally as it warms up. Because this is going to give us our marshmallow fluff-like topping. Just going to let that go and melt. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment real quick to ask for your support. If you like my recipes, please subscribe to my channel. And when you do, make sure to select that bell that's marked all. That will ensure that you get notified every time I post a new video. Thanks! Now let's get back to baking. It's starting to get nice and ooey gooey. It's getting real close. Once it's about right here at this texture where it's starting to stick, I'm gonna turn the heat off and I'll leave it on just to stay loose. And about 5 minutes before you're ready to complete baking your cookies, we're going to add this and then we'll throw them back in the oven for the last 5 minutes. That is looking really good. So again, you want to take that out maybe about 5 to 6 minutes before your bake time is complete, because now we're going to add that marshmallow topping. Let me get that over here. It's still ooey gooey, which is great. This might be the challenging part because it's sticky and you want to try to get it spread over as much as you can. But how good does that look? Kind of just spread it like almost like you're frosting it. Oh gosh, that smells so good. Gotta move quickly too, because I can already tell my marshmallows wanna reform. Get that last bit before it seizes up here. Get all these nooks and crannies. Might get a little spoon to help me along. This is so hard. I'm losing it. Well, that might be all I can get out of there. But I think that is plenty of marshmallow. Let's take a little look. How good does that look? We're gonna get that in for those last remaining 4 to 5 minutes and get the marshmallows nice and toasty. Look at that. Look how the marshmallow just like bubbled up. Got a little bit brown. You could keep it in longer if you want to get it a little more browned. I just didn't want to burn my cookie too much. You could maybe raise it to the higher shelf if you want to get that a little more brown, but I think this is good as it is because I want it to be ooey gooey when I break it open. So the final thing we want to do is add a chocolate sauce. I'm going to bring it over and tell you all about it. So I have melted here, interestingly enough, in this Turkish coffee maker, which actually worked out well for me. It is half a cup of dark chocolate, semi-sweet, vegan and gluten-free chocolate chips. And then I added 2 tablespoons and a half of vegan creamer. And the brand I use is Nut Pods. I'll put the link in the description. It's a brand I really love, especially when I'm making my chocolate ganaches. So let's get a spoon. And let me show you. It's probably hard to see in here, but I'll lift some of it up. Like, look at that ganache. It's so good. So now all we're gonna do is just drizzle it all around. Oh my gosh, how good does that look? Get some of the bare points here. Never have you been so happy to mess up a batch of cookies when you could make something like this. Let's get a little more on. I do want to cut into this when it's a little bit warm because I really want to see that marshmallow gooiness, but I want it to set up a little bit. So let's just give it about 5 minutes to set up and then we'll cut into it. All right, let's transfer this out of the pan and show you again why I love having this little extra helper here with my parchment paper. So it just comes right out. It's still very soft because it's a little warm. So I'm actually gonna just leave it on the parchment for now. But look at that. Look how crisp it is. It's thick, but not too thick. It'll be the perfect little treat. So I'm going to actually try now to remove this. I'm just gonna scoot it off of the parchment. Let's move this out of the way. How good does that look? All right, let's do a nice cut down the middle. Ooh, look at that marshmallow. Still warm, but do another cut like this. So since it is still pretty warm, I might just do a little taste test from a corner. Let's just do a little cut here. Look at that. Maybe don't be as impatient as me and let it set up. It just looks so good. I want to try it right now. So let's get a closer look at the bar. Look at that. Looks so good. Chocolatey. I'm gonna break it open here. Let's just see all that ooey gooey. Marshmallow. Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. That was really good. The cookie became like, almost like a cake, but because it's still very thin, got really crispy on the outside, so it's a perfect little bar. Easy to pick up. Chocolate on top, just took it over the edge. Marshmallow melted perfectly. This is really good. So don't be so quick to throw out your epic fails because they could end up being delicious wins if you get creative with it. Let me know if you have any clever baking transformations to share. And if you're enjoying these videos, please click the subscribe button. Your support is much appreciated. Until next time, see ya.